M112, M113 throttle cable tension adjustment, which is what you're going to need to do before we do the other two things in this video, which is transmission shift code reset and also the idle relearn. And on this is being done on a W463 G500, which is the M113 engine. And right here is your electronic throttle that's connected to a cable that goes to the pedal, your throttle pedal. And at the very bottom, it's kind of hard to see this on this car. It's very hard to get down and see. Ugh. Yeah, it is. I'm going to stick my hand in there. And at the very bottom of this, you'll feel a spring. And you go down past the spring, and there's a plastic screw on the end of the cable. And you just screw the cable in and out to adjust the tension. And you just want a little bit of tension on the cable. You don't want a ton of it. If it's too tight, then your throttle will not be able to go back down. Let me see if I can see. Can you see the spring down there? The bottom end of the spring is what's attached to, you can see the cable. It's attached to the housing that the little plastic cable nut is on. One second, I'm going to turn on some light and see if I can't I'm going to shove the camera down in there. So you can see it. And you can see the spring at the bottom. You can see can you see that? I can't even tell if you can see that. Yeah, that's the adjuster nut right there, the plastic cable. So it's right in the middle. And above that, you can see barely see the metal cable coming out of the top, which will be at the bottom right corner of your screen. You see the long, skinny cable, like a bicycle brake cable. And just reach in there with your hand and touch that. You can reach in and touch it with your hand. You just can't get a camera in there at the same time. And feel it, and it should just have the slightest little bit of movement back and forth. It shouldn't be tight. It should be a little bit loose, a little bit of slack, and then you can adjust that knob, that plastic screw. It can turn by hand. You just grab it and turn it back and forth until the cable is, I don't know, when you push it up and down, it should move a couple millimeters up and down. It should not be tight like a guitar string, looser than that. Anyway, and then adjust it to where you feel it's just slightly loose. Too loose is fine. You're just going to have less. You have to push further on the throttle cable, on the throttle pedal, before it grabs that and tells the engine what to do. It just have a little bit of slop in your, but it's better than being too tight. You're just going to have to get a feel for it yourself. It's kind of hard to explain and show how hard it should be to move up and down, but it should wiggle a couple of millimeters up and down easily. Anyway, that, and then on to the next procedure. Letting the car relearn idle after you've adjusted the cable, because it's useless to reset the idle without adjusting the cable. Make sure there's enough slack in it. If it's too tight, this isn't going to work properly. Take your key, insert in the ignition, turn it to the second point when all the idiot lights come on. Leave it there for 10 minutes is fine. Between 5 and 10 minutes. I usually do 10 just for the hell of it, but 10 minutes is fine. If you look under the hood, you'll hear your throttle body making little like whining noises, and that's just it searching to move the butterfly into the proper position where it knows it's going to be for idle. These cars don't have an idle air bypass valve. The air bypassing the throttle plate in order to control idle is controlled by the throttle plate being moved open and closed. So because of that, the throttle plate is what controls idle, and it has to be in the right spot. If your throttle plate is a little bit dirty, your throttle body is dirty, you haven't gone in there and cleaned it out, could be a bit of carbon, that could make your car idle poorly. Anyway, 10 minutes, and back when that's done. Okay, it's been approximately 9-10 minutes. Turn the car off, pull the key out, key in, start and just let it idle for a minute or two. You should notice a much smoother idle if you had a bad idle, a lumpy idle beforehand, if this is your problem. If the problem is the idle speed. Anyway, thanks for watching. Oh, I might as well do the third step in all-in-one. So we're going to reset the transmission shift points. It's an adaptive transmission that adapts to how you drive, and after thousands and thousands and thousands of shifts, it can get a little muddled into what it wants to do. It can decide whether to shift early, to shift late, depending on your driving style. So if you want to reset that back to factory settings, your car's more than likely going to upshift a little quicker and feel a little more powerful. So what we're going to do is take the key again, ignition again, on until all lights come on, all the idiot lights, but not starting the car. On the throttle, push all the way to the ground, right past the upshift button, and you're going to hold for approximately 30 seconds. And so I don't waste 30 seconds of your life, I'll come back. Okay, it's been about 35 seconds. Foot still, remain pushing all the way to the floor. Remember to push past the kickdown switch, the little kickdown switch on the floor. When you push all the way to the floor, there's that little extra click when you push down. You have to push that in and hold it all the way to the floor. So now we're just going to turn the key off. Keep your foot to the ground. Wait a few seconds. Foot off. Remove the key. And I don't know whether or not it works or doesn't work. There's plenty of postings out there all over the place. Some people say you can't turn anything on in your car, you can't have anything electrical going, don't turn on a light, don't open the door, don't do anything for a couple of minutes. I don't know which one works and which one doesn't. Other people say it's fine, just get in and go. I just wait the 2 minutes and then start the car afterward. So again, we will wait the 2 minutes and come back. Okay, it's been a little over 2 minutes. Stick the key in the car. Start, go for a drive. You may or may not feel it. Initially, you might have to do it 1 or 2 times. Sometimes you don't get it right. Sometimes you don't push your foot all the way to the floor enough. Hard to say why. I mean, for me as well, I've done it hundreds of times, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't do it. Anyway, follow that procedure. All good. Thanks for watching.